Okay, so this is the fourth and final part of the chapter number 12, valuing mortgage-backed securities. And we will talk about measurement of interest rate risk in detail. So we will only focus on measurement of interest rate risk here. What I want all of you to do is go through the last two pages in the chapter yourself, valuing asset-backed securities and valuing any security. So these are the last two pages. So I will not discuss these. We will only discuss measuring interest rate risk in this video. So as explained in chapter number 9, duration and convexity can be used to estimate the interest rate exposure to parallel shifts in the yield curve. There are several duration measures that are used in practice. Two researchers who have done extensive work in measuring duration, Lakbir Hairi and Herbert Schoen, conclude that no single duration measure will consistently work well for mortgage-backed securities. To that conclusion should be added that there are some measures that do not work at all. So starting with the duration measures. So as we explained a lot of times, duration is a measure of price sensitivity to changes in interest rates. We have seen how to compute the duration of a security by shocking rates up and down and determining the price of the security changes using this formula. Right? Remember this formula, I'm not going to explain it. For bonds with embedded option, such as mortgage-backed securities, the appropriate measure is effective durations. And to capture the negative convexity of bond with embedded option, effective convexity should be computed. We will see how to calculate effective duration for a mortgage-backed security using the Monte Carlo simulation model. Then we will see how the assumptions of the model impact the duration estimate. So the effective duration is, in order to calculate the value of the security, must be estimated when rates are shocked up and down, giving the number of basis points. In terms of Monte Carlo simulation model, the yield curve used, whether it's a treasury or a LIBOR curve, is shocked up and down, and the new curve is used to generate the values to be used in the effective duration and effective convexity formulas. This is analogous to the process we use to compute effective duration and effective convexity using the binomial model. So what you will need to do is shock up and down the curve and calculate the values again. So you have a base value, then we have a value at a higher yield curve and a lower yield curve. In generating prices, when rates are shocked up and down, there is an assumption that the relationship assumed in generating the initial price do not change when rates are shocked up or down. There are differences in effective duration for a given mortgage-backed security reported by dealers and vendors of analytical systems. Several practitioners have explained and illustrated why there are differences in effective duration estimated. And mainly these differences are because of differences in amount of rate shock used, differences in prepayment models, differences in option adjusted spread, and differences in relationship between short-term and long-term refinancing rates. So basically, it's the effective duration is no different. You shook up and shook down the rates. You also change the cash flows and then re-estimate the values and use those values, put in this formula, and then calculate the duration. There are other duration measures which have been used for the mortgage-backed securities. These measures include cash flow duration, Köppen curve duration, and empirical duration. We will discuss each of these. The first two duration measures, the cash flow and Köppen duration, are forms of effective duration in that they do recognize that the value that should be used in the duration formula should take into account how the cash flow may change due to change in prepayments when interest rates change. In contrast, empirical duration is a duration that is computed statistically using observed market prices. So let's first discuss cash flow duration. Recall from general duration formula that there are two values that must be substituted into the numerator of the formula: the value if the rates are decreased and the value if the rates are increased. The effective duration, with the effective duration, these two values consider how changes in interest rate change the cash flow due to prepayments. This is done through Monte Carlo simulation by allowing for each cash flows to change on the interest rate path. For cash flow duration, there is a recognition that the cash flow can change, but the analysis to obtain the cash flow is done following a statistic methodology. Specifically, the cash flow duration is calculated following these 5 steps, or maybe 6 steps. First, calculate the cash flow based on some prepayment assumption. So you calculate the cash flow on the basis of prepayment assumption. From the cash flow in step 1 and the market price, compute the cash flow yield. So you compute the cash flow yield, increase the cash flow yield by certain amount, and form a prepayment model. Determine new prepayment rate at the higher cash flow yield. Typically, the prepayment rate will be lower than the step 1 because the higher yield level. Similarly, using the lower prepayment rate in step 3, determine the cash flow and then value the cash flow using the higher cash flow yield at a discount rate. This gives V positive. Decrease the cash flow yield by certain amount again for a prepayment model. Determine a new prepayment rate at the lower cash flow yield. Typically, the prepayment rate can be higher than the step 1. Using the higher prepayment rate, step 5, determine the cash flow and then the value the cash flow using the lower rate. Right? And then substitute those values to the same duration formula and calculate the duration. The question is, what type of measure is the cash flow duration? Effective or modified? Technically, it's a form of effective duration because in step 3 and 5, when the rate is changed, the cash flow is allowed to change. However, as has been stressed throughout, the valuation model that is used to get the new values to substitute in the duration formula is critical. The valuation model in the case of cash flow duration is based on the naive assumption that there is a single prepayment rate over the life of the mortgage-backed security for any given interest rate shock. This is in contrast to the values produced by Monte Carlo simulation model that does more sophisticated analysis of how cash flow can change when interest rates change. Again, it is important to reiterate that modified duration is inferior to the cash flow duration because the former gives absolutely no recognition how the prepayment may change when interest rate change. While the cash flow duration is commonly cited in practice, it is a form of effective duration that does give some recognition that prepayment and therefore cash flow may change when interest rate changes, but it is based on a nice assumption of how prepayment may change. The effective duration is computed using Monte Carlo simulation is superior to the cash flow duration. Then we have Kopin curve duration. The Kopin curve duration uses market price to estimate the duration of a mortgage-backed security. This approach, first suggested by Douglas Braden, starts with the Kopin curve of prices for similar mortgage-backed securities. The Kopin curve represents generic pass-through securities of a particular issuer with different Kopin rates. By rolling up and down the Kopin curve of prices, the duration can be obtained. Because of the way it is estimated, this approach of duration estimation was referred by Braden as roll-up, roll-down approach. The prices obtained from rolling up and rolling down the Kopin curve of prices are substituted in the duration formula. Let's look at this. So these are the Kopin and these are the prices. Now suppose that Kopin curve duration for 8% Kopin pass-through is sought. If the yield declined by 100 basis points, the assumption is that the price of the 8% Kopin pass-through will increase to the price of current 9% Kopin pass-through. Thus, the price will increase from 98.38 to 103.34. Similarly, if the yield increased by 100 basis points, the assumption is that the price of the 8% Kopin pass-through will decline to 7% Kopin pass-through, which is 98 52.06. And now you can use these values, put it into the duration formula and obtain the duration. While the advantage of the Köppen curve duration are simplicity of its calculation and the fact that the current prices embody market expectations, there are disadvantages. This approach is limited to generic market-based securities and difficult to use for mortgage derivatives such as CMOs. Finally, we have empirical duration. For the empirical duration, again, just give me a minute. For the empirical duration, when computing effective duration and cash flow duration, the values to be substituted in the duration formula are those based on some valuation model. For Köppen curve duration, the observed market prices are used. In contrast, empirical duration is estimated statistically using historical market prices and market yields. Regression analysis is used to estimate the relationship. Some firms use empirical duration, also called implied duration, and their primary measure of duration of MBS. Now, there are three advantages of empirical duration approach. First, the duration estimate does not rely on any theoretical formula or analytical assumptions. Second, the estimation of the required parameters is easy to compute using regression analysis. And finally, the only inputs that are needed are reliable price series and Treasury yield series. However, there are disadvantages. First, the reliable price series for mortgage security may not be available. For example, there may not be price series available for a thinly traded mortgage derivative security, or the prices may be a matrix price. Second, the empirical relationship does not impose a structure for the option embedded in a mortgage-backed security, and this can distort the empirical duration. Finally, the volatility of the spread to the Treasury yield can distort how the prices of mortgage-backed security reacts to the yield. So basically, the desirable measure of the interest rate risk is again the effective duration computed from the Monte Carlo simulation, but these other measures are also used by market participants. That's all for this video as well as this chapter. Thank you.